Am I live? Let's see. Check everything is correct for it. Let's go to the control room. Sound. Okay, yeah, sound is working. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another coaching session. We're going to be doing some live top lane coaching today. Not sure of the champion yet. We'll find that out once we start talking to the client. They said they were unsure of what it is that they want to play, so we'll find out when we jump in call. As usual, if you do like the style of coaching you see in these videos and live streams, let me put an announcement in my server actually. There we go. Put a little announcement in there. Anyway, yes, as usual, if you do like the style of coaching you see in these videos, please do take a look down in the description and you will see a link to my Fiverr page. There, you will be able to see the 3 packages I have available. You have a VOD review, which the next session that's been purchased is a VOD review, so you'll see what the VOD reviews look like in that regard. I think originally I wasn't planning on uploading those, but I think I might upload them now. It's not too much extra effort for me to upload them actually. That's the basic package. For your standard package, it's the sessions that you'll see in these videos. And then for your premium package, you'll get 4... Sorry, I'm just muting some conversations on Discord because you may have noticed at the bottom it kept going up. Yes, your premium package, you'll get 4 standard sessions, 1 a week, over 4 weeks, and you'll get that for the price of 3. So you get a nice little discount for buying in bulk. So yes, do take a look if you're interested. I'm going to call the client now and we'll see what's going on. Hello. Hello.
How's it going?
I'm okay. What about you?
Pretty good, pretty good.
All right, nice. So you weren't sure what champion you wanted to play?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I'm open to suggestions. So I kind of play I guess the main champs I would play mid, I would say are like Cassio
Okay.
and like Veigar, but I'm not really like having fun right now playing them.
Mm-hmm.
Really open to suggestions.
Okay. What kind of... What do you enjoy about top lane? Have you played much top lane before?
I used to be a top main, but now I'm switching to mid. But that's the thing is, well, I don't really know. So the thing is, I enjoy playing top lane because I feel like mechanically I'm like decent. So a lot of the times I win my matchups. But then the issue is I feel like I have no impact anywhere else on the map, and so I might win lane, but then my team's like 20-0 or 0-20, and then we'll lose the game because I like couldn't do anything.
Yeah. Okay. The role does have less agency than something like mid, but there's still a lot you can do. As for champions, I think, generally speaking, I would say you can climb on anything. There are some champions that are not the best in solo queue, but realistically, I would just pick something you enjoy and get very good at it. So yeah, I would, more than trying to figure out like what, unless you're trying to improve in a very specific thing. Then you could pick something that would help you practice that. For example, let's say you were trying to improve your laning, I would probably say pick something like Darius or Renekton, right? If that was your primary focus. If you really wanted to try and improve your side laning, you could pick something like Fiora. Or if there's just, but you know, any champion that you enjoy, most of what I will teach you will be very like applicable to every champion. So yeah, I think just make sure you're on something that you feel pretty comfortable piloting, and that you find fun to play. Rather than like, I wouldn't say just spam, I don't know, Malphite or something, and just be if you don't enjoy that. I'd generally say pick something that you like. So It's entirely up to you. And if you wanna queue up and share screen, and then even if you want to like look at what's been picked in the game, and then you can maybe pick, you can use what's on the enemy team or what's on your team to help you decide what to play as well. That's fine as well.
Okay. I'm in a norms game right now. It's about to finish.
Okie doke.
Sorry about yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Or is it just a
I had a
particularly long one?
it's a particularly long one. I mean, my team's like not grouping or anything, so
Okay. Are you playing top lane at the minute, or are you playing a different role?
I'm playing mid.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm playing mid. So
Do you maybe want to play a champion that will that's applicable to both roles? I
so I was thinking I'm just gonna play Cassia because
Okay.
I think more than anything I do enjoy her. It's just I got tilt. So I think one of my biggest issues is I get tilted easily because like once again I'll win mid lane with Cassio, but then like my jungler will like just end the game away and like it's just like yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'll play Cassio because I can also play her top. She's decent top.
Okay. I've found that 90% of the time, when someone is tilted, it's because they feel like they don't know what they can do better. They don't feel like they can do anything better, and it feels like they're just losing the game for no reason. If we can give you direction, or give you, the more you feel like, I could have done that better, it's a lot easier to not get tilted, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So ideally, you'll leave the session today with a list of things to improve on, and then you can focus on those rather, like, even if your jungler ints the game and you lose, you're thinking more about, well, how well did I do in all of these things that I'm trying to improve on, rather than, it becomes less about the outcome of each individual game and more about the journey of your improvement as a player.
Yeah.
I think a lot of playing Cassio, like in I wonder what the ratio is. I would say like at least 90% of top lane matchups, I would have Cassio as favored in lane.
Yeah.
So a lot of it today, I think, is going to be on maximizing your ability to generate a lead from lane, and then about how to transfer that around to the rest of the game. Ideally, as Cassio, you want to be in a position where you've won your lane and you're ahead, and then you're turning your lead in your lane doesn't do anything unless you do something with it, right? So step one is, how do we get this lead in lane? How do I make myself strong? And then step two is, once I'm strong, how do I use this to win the game? And we'll cover both of those. I feel like
Okay.
step one generally ends about 14 minutes. A lot of the time, I would say once you manage to get the T1 turret in your side lane, then it becomes much less about your individual matchup, and now it's like, okay, first 14 minutes of the game, we're really trying to generate golden XP advantage, and the rest of the game, we're trying to use what we've generated. At least for champions like Cassia, right? For champions like Kale or Nasus, it's kind of like first 14 minutes we're trying to minimize losses, and then we naturally come online, and then we
Yeah.
can use it anyway. But yeah, Cassio does actually have to generate a lead, but she does scale very well as well.
She
No,
does,
no pun
yeah.
intended with her being a snake.
Yeah. And this game is actually like taking forever.
It's fine. Um, is there anything in particular that you ban when you play Cassio? I mean, I guess it's different for mid lane, right? But for top lane,
Well, okay, yeah, so that's another thing. So I usually will ban either like Syndra or like a long
yeah.
like a mage with like a lot of range.
Yep.
But recently I've been banning Smolder just because, like, well, to be quite frank, I've gotten gapped by a couple of Smolders mid as cast, and it's just
Yeah, I
pretty
mean
annoying.
that is Cassia's biggest weakness is closing the gap. If she's playing against, if she's outranged, it's very difficult for her. Which I think is why in
Yeah,
top lane she feels a lot happier, at least in the lane phase, a lot of the time, because
yeah.
you're often playing against the melee. Not much data on this patch as for how her matchups go. Here we go. On the previous patch, okay, yeah, looks like Olaf, Quinn, Yorick, yeah, all of these I could see them kind of being an issue. Yasuo as well, I could see that. Okay,
Okay, it finally finished. Jesus Christ.
nice. Okay, so if you just queue up for a game and turn your share
Yeah,
screen on, I'll pop that on my
sounds good.
screen. Alright, here we go. Thank you.
What role do you play
I play top lane myself.
with top lane? And so, I guess my question for you would be, how do you like have impact on like a lane if as a top laner? Because like even when I like roam mid and get them a kill and they'll still like die, and then it's just like I lost a lot top for nothing.
Um, I would say it's very much about putting the. I kind of see it in the mid to late game as almost like a janitor role. So you're going around performing maintenance on both side lanes because often your mid laner is not going to be doing their job properly in the other side lane. So you're getting the side lanes in good positions that is creating reasons for enemies to leave and catch the side waves. And once they've caught the side waves, you're basically the entire job of the top laner to me is to create numbers advantages. So one way they can do that is, let's say you're playing a champion like Fiora. If you're threatening a T2 tower and the enemy top laner can't 1v1 you, then someone else has to come and stop you, and then you've created a numbers advantage. Or if you're playing a champion like Cassio, who doesn't really want to walk up and hit the T2 turret, you can push the wave deep, and then when someone on their team comes to catch that big wave, you can rotate in, and then you play the 5v4 until the wave bounces back, and then you go and catch the side wave again, and you create a numbers advantage that way.
Okay.
And you also run teleport a lot of the time, which is very good for creating numbers advantages. You're Q popped, by the way.
Oh no!
Ah.
That was like the biggest Oh god.
I love how
So
aggressive they
sorry
are with
about
the
that.
warning now as well. You miss one Q and they're like, now then, what are you doing? Okay, so what rank are we in the new season? Also, your primary role is still mid, if you want to swap that over.
Oh yeah, I think I want to try mid if that's cool.
I mean, yeah, we can do mid as well. Mid's fine.
Okay. We are plat 2 right now.
Okay.
And the closest I ever got to like, so my goal is Diamond 4. The closest I ever got was before they added Emerald, and I was Plat 2, just spamming Vagar mid.
Okay.
Vagar mid and Volibear jungle. That's what I was spamming, and it was like it was working. But then I just kind of like got to a point where like I don't know, I need to change something because the people weren't brain dead anymore.
Yeah. Um, I think for laning, a lot of what we're going to look at is finding uh finding the mistakes that people in these rank brackets are making that you might not realize they're making. And then you can punish that.
Okay.
What did I do?
So, what are some... Obviously, there's the weakness of being outranged we've touched on. What are some strengths of Cassiopeia that you think you should be playing into?
I think she might have the strongest level 2 spike. So whenever something I always do is on the second wave, I'll try to like get first minion really low. So I'll hit that power 2 spike and then insta level up my Q and just go in. And a lot of the time people like not respect it, so I'll just chunk them out.
Yeah.
And then I think another big thing is if they play into me, I mean my ult and my W are just like insanely strong.
Yeah, I think the three big things for me are like solo kill threat in lane, side laning, and controlling space.
Yeah.
See, looks like we're probably against Nico. Oh, it's Zed. Or is it... Maybe it's Zed jungle. It could be Zed or Nico jungle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we are against Zed. Okay. I mean, one thing to bear in mind, have you played much against Nico jungle? I know Agarin is playing it a lot at the minute.
No, I have not played against Nico Jungle.
Alright,
At all,
you
actually.
just really want to get into the habit of counting minions.
Okay.
I can talk to you a little bit about gank timings, but it's in mid, you're more gankable at any time than any other role. Like, to gank bot, she has to be on bot side of the map. To gank top, she has to be on top side of the map. mid she can kind of always gank, so you do have to respect the jungler a lot as mid lane, and finding out where they are is really, really important. But yeah, if it's a non-cannon wave and you see 7 minions, oh, Nico's in my lane.
Because like,
Yeah,
yeah.
you have to bear it in mind. Looks like somebody's struggling to connect. There we go. Loading again now. Okay. Where you're standing level 1 is good. This is where I would want you to stand. Do you play against First Strike often? Are you familiar with like the First Strike pattern in laning?
I mean, not. What do you mean by pattern?
So when it's coming up, if you're tracking his First Strike, if you can hit him when it comes up, if you can prepare to hit him when it comes up, he's effectively playing without a keystone if you play around it well. So he has to play around it really well, and you have to play around it really well.
So if I hit him, does it reset or how does it?
If you hit him, it goes on the 25-second cooldown. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep. And if you know when you click an enemy champion and you have their portrait in the top left and it shows you all their debuffs, you'll see the cooldown of First Strike on there. So what I like to do in these kind of lanes is I'll kind of give him a bit of a window to Q me, but I'll be ready to dodge it. And then once the Q misses, I'll proc the First Strike. Okay, nice, you got it. Okay. Good, I like that camera movement there. Ideally you don't want to move here, but just checking if you need to is good. Okay, nice. What summoner spells is he running? Oh! Okay, nice. Well played.
That was a little risky.
No, it's fine. It worked. Is he running teleport? Yeah, he is. Okay. So
Yeah,
he
he's
can
running
come back.
teleport, so he catch. Yeah.
Okay, where do you think Nico is right now?
I think she's bot because she pathed top, so she should be river right now. Actually.
Yeah, she should be on top grab. So a big part of playing mid lane is figuring out where the enemy jungle is so that you can position on the opposite side of the lane. I think we just saw, yeah, she's on minimap in top lane.
Yeah.
Okay, when this play ends, whether... Oh, Zed's top. Yeah,
So
good.
I should hard.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to see how you would react to me giving you that information, see if you knew the correct thing to do. You definitely want to push and make Zed lose these minions to tower. In the next wave too. Okay, the top lane is TPing mid to catch the wave. Good movement.
So should I TP back here since he's
Yes.
solo and just push him out of lane?
He also... He just TP'd to lane, right? So, if you TP and push, he's kind of... he's stuck. Do you know? Like, he can't recall or he'll miss the wave if you push. But he can't TP if he does recall, so... And if you can cancel his base, it's huge as well. This is, like, something you can sometimes look for. I don't think... Yeah, you don't have the range to do it here. Oh.
Oh.
He cancelled it himself. Okay, I'm counting the minions here, because this is a time when you're wanting to crash the wave is generally when you're going to get ganked in mid.
Yeah.
I don't know if this guy has flash. Versus a lot of champs, if they walk to try and CS from range on low health like that. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, there's two things you could do here. One is base and one is grab. Do you know the fruit, the honey fruit?
Yeah.
So the honey fruit spawns about 6:15. So it's actually, if you push that wave, a lot of the time what you can do is use all your mana to push, which you kind of did, and then you can go and get the fruit while the wave is pushed.
Okay.
So when we look at the replay, we've got I've got quite a few things to go over, which is good. What's the main thing you're thinking here?
Is that all?
Yep, and how do we play around that as Cass?
W.
Yes, you want a W where he's going to appear from his ult so that he can't go back. Nice. Ooh, the Shen. Okay. I would just... Okay. Yeah. Well, I'll talk more. Generally, what I do is try to figure out your understanding in the live game by watching and talking, and then I will teach you stuff in the replay.
Okay.
But so far, mechanically, you're good. You know, your last hitting is fairly good. And I think your idea of what you should be doing is fairly solid. I think there's definitely improvements you can make, which is good. And a lot of it's very conceptual, which should be easy to apply, which is good.
Okay.
I go quiet for a bit right now? I'm just writing some notes.
No worries.
Okay. Caught up with my notes now. I don't want to miss anything. I would probably remember just by watching the review again, but just to make sure I don't miss anything. I just like to keep track of my thoughts. Okay, it's a nice early Rod of Ages. Always nice to have. Where do you think Nico's gonna go after those chickens?
River. Or maybe her red.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe her red. Because she had blue buff, but no red buff. And if at any time you feel able to commentate what you're thinking to me, then that's really helpful because
Okay.
the main during the game, my main goal is to figure out what you do and don't know, so I don't waste time teaching you things that you already do know.
Okay.
As well as just
so I
figuring
went-
out what the biggest rooms for improvement are.
Okay. I went bot there because I thought Zed was rotating.
Okay. Nice, got his first strike. Oh,
I want to flash out that Ziggs.
do you think that's Ziggs? Just looking at the map?
No, that's Nico.
Yeah. So, flash ulting that guy, probably not the best idea. We don't really
Yeah.
know what health that Nico's on.
Yeah.
Maybe she was trying to bait you with it. She's actually fairly low.
I'm gonna get the plant now.
Okay. Yeah. See if there is one. Nice, there is.
Turret plating will fall soon.
Aha.
I didn't count the minions.
Yeah, that's where we need to count the minions. I also could have told you, but I was replying to someone in my stream chat, so that's my bad.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, Nico will look to do that often. I would say her main gank is that, and when you stop falling for it, she will stop doing it. Like, if she tries to do it and you respect it, she probably won't do it again. But she will keep doing it until you don't fall for it, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. Ooh, I remembered something else from my notes.
An enemy has been slain.
Right? Okay, nice. A lot of people wouldn't flash that early. I like that flash. Good. I think it's much better for you to be inside lane at this point.
Yeah. I'm backing off here because I don't have vision. I don't know
Yeah,
what Nico is.
yeah. You have 2 people on your team in top lane right now. And you have no vision. The only thing that you know is that it could only be Nico, because you saw
Yeah.
Ziggs Lulu in mid. Oh, okay, now we see Nico. And now you have options now.
An enemy has been slain.
Ooh, F keys. I don't think anyone I've coached has used F keys so far. A lot of people just manually move the camera, which is also fine. F keys is just a bit quicker.
Ally has been slain.
I'm gonna shove this wave and then back for dragon because I have TP.
Okay, yeah.
An enemy has been slain.
He's shoving this wave for a specific recall value?
Yeah, I have archangels.
Okay.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Okay, how are you gonna try and play this Drake?
Kind of just zone them out.
Okay.
So wait for like an ult.
Okay.
The only reason I'm saying
That
is because I
works
have
too.
Seraphs.
Yeah, I think it's fine to stay. You have sustain in your kit. He doesn't kill you. Yeah, he's running it.
Oh, that's Nico.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Nice. Okay, now that you didn't fall for it, she probably won't. She might still do it. You still want to respect it, but she probably won't do it again. I found that most Nikos, they try it and then it fails, and then they're like, okay, I'll try someone else.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I'm staying because I'm like so close to my allies.
Yeah, that's fine. It can be greedy, but I think you're safe enough here that it's not greedy, and you want to base as little as possible, ideally. You don't want to be spending time in your fountain, so. Okay, nice. Alright.
Enemy has been slain.
Okay, I'll give you a tip. I would ping Baron. Yeah, okay, someone else did it. Generally, if you ping something after a fight like that, a lot of the time, a lot of what I'm going to be talking about is this is the right thing to do, so you should ping this. I think pings are very important because people respond to pings, and it's the only influence you can actually have over your teammates is pinging them. Aside from that, it's like an uncontrollable factor which you shouldn't worry about because there's nothing you can do to make people play better, but you can at least try to communicate the right things to do to them with pings.
Yeah.
Killing
Okay.
spree.
Okay, what's your understanding of how to use a Baron buff?
You want to create pressure like everywhere. So like ideally it'd be like top laner, like top and mid side laning, and then like everyone else kind of like creating pressure mid, or we group and just try to get like towers like that. I
Okay.
think that's my understanding.
I would say outside of some circumstances, let's say like T1 today played Silas Camille. They had two very strong side lanes, solo lanes. Outside of that, I would always try and play Baron on two lanes. So it could either be mid bot or mid top. If you push this next wave, I'll just show you. If you push this next wave and then go join your team in mid, and then let Shen pressure top.
Destroyed a turret.
Okay.
I would have taken the wave first, but that's fine.
It's because that's Nico. So.
Yeah,
And Lulu, yeah, I don't know where Zed is.
you can
That's the
respect
only-
her. I think you're strong enough to just walk into her face at this point as well. That's fine. I'll talk about how to play the Baron in the replay.
Okay.
It just makes it very safe and very consistent at like breaking open the game.
Your
If no one's here, you can just hit the tower. But a lot of the time people are going, like, the Zed came to catch the wave before, and that's kind of what you want. Nico flashed. It's fine.
Yeah.
Baron's over anyway. What's the dragon situation? Like, how's it? Have you gotten 2 of them or 3 of them?
3.
Okay,
we're on
so yeah, if you win this fight, you effectively win the game. Good. Okay, well, that was a fairly easy game, all things considered.
Yeah. Definitely not how my games usually go.
Okay, now it's my turn. I think this is your... Yes, found your profile. Okay, so if I share my screen, I can go over a bunch of the stuff that I want to talk about. Screen 1. Oh no, not this again. For some reason, I just haven't been able to open match history.
Oh.
Would you be able to send me the replay file over Discord? Can you do that?
Yeah, I think so. If you can show me how to do it.
Yeah, sure. So what you'd want to do is you'd go into your match history,
And
download the game. All my
Yeah.
replays have expired because I haven't been on my North America account since God knows when. And then you would go into your documents, League of Legends replays, and it will just be here. I'll delete both of mine, and then it would just be, if you sort it by date modified, it'll just be the newest one, and you can just send me that file, and then I have to make my game recognize it as, like, think it's my replay.
Wait, sorry. So I'm in the League of Legends folder, but which one am I supposed to look for?
Documents, League of Legends replays, and then sort by date modified, so that you can see what, like, which the newest replay is. If you've just downloaded it, it will be at the very top.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, I don't know why when I try to load other people's match histories, it just doesn't work anymore. It's been
I
like that
can't
for a
send
while.
It exceeds the size limit for Discord for me to be able to send it through
Okay.
Discord. I can email it.
Sure, yeah. Let's go with that. I'll send you. There we go. Yeah, if you can email it to me. Yeah, it's a bit awkward that we have to work around Riot's match history not working, but what can you do?
Yeah, no worries. Okay, should have sent it.
Okay. Let's see. I haven't gotten it yet. Ah, there we go. Got it. Download that. Okay. If if I rename, grab the name of that one, rename your one to that one. Now it thinks your one is my one, and now I can open it. And this should now open your replay. This is not the right game.
That is not the right game, no.
But it's okay, we'll figure it out.
One sec, let me try that again. Okay, I sent it again.
Okay.
I think that should be the right one. I don't know why it sent the wrong one the first time.
Alright, no worries. Wait for that to come through. There we go. Download that. Okay. Rename that to this. Delete that one. Put that one in there. Open. Let's see. Have we got it now? Yay! This is the one.
There you go.
Okay. So, for laning phase, we talked about playing around first strike, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes you're going to want to do that. Sometimes the enemy's going to have first strike. Now, as Cassio, you're outranged a lot. Like, even against Zed here, you're outranged by his shuriken.
Yeah.
So what I'd like to look to do is try to get them to cast it with the intent of dodging it, right? You kind of invite it. So I like this, and then you moved in a straight line and dodged it. That's fine. One thing you can look to do as well, let's say this is, I mean, it's Zed here, but a lot of champs in mid lane are very gated by their cooldowns, whereas Cassio, your cooldown is 0.75 seconds, right? So if you see this Q and you click like here, and then you just start autoing him, E, auto, E, auto, E. Yeah, you use some mana, right? But you'll chunk him down to like here, which gives you so much control over the lane. And he can't really respond to it because his Q is on cooldown, right? He can't. The only thing he could try and do is walk into your face, but then you can kite him backwards, and then when he tries to leave, you can start hitting him again. And you're playing. You learn the cooldown. So for Zed here, we've got a 6-second window when he uses it at level 1. I mean, it's just abusing these windows. So we want to abuse this 6-second window where he can't really respond to you if you walk up and just keep hitting him.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you can look to abuse, which you do here, is if you walk up now and you go to auto E him, his click, he wants to click this minion. He doesn't want to look to do something else. Now he could look to Q through it onto you, and that's fine. But watching the health of not only his minions for you to last it, but watching the health of your minions is going to give you big trade windows.
Okay.
So you see here, like there, you're kind of looking to punish on it. Couldn't get it off, and then I would see. So the two things I'm looking for, I wouldn't just ram. I don't think this is a matchup where Cassio is so strong that at level 1 you can just run your face into him and win. That's not going to work. If he lands his Q on you, it's going to hurt. But if his Q's on cooldown or he's going for a last hit, then those are some trade windows. So here he's trying to get that last hit. now his Q's on cooldown. So now if you, instead of standing here to last hit these minions, if you stand here and last hit backwards, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
While you've got another 6-second window now, right, where he can't do anything. So right now you're essentially commanding this space. I've kind of made that bigger at the back than the front, but you're commanding like this space, right? Did it again. I don't know why I'm making the circle bigger this way. Anyway, if you were to stand here and last hit this way, then the space you're commanding is like this space instead, which is much harder for, like, you're pushing Zed all the way away from the wave, and he's like dropping last hits and he can't get in, and then he's got to try and like work his way back into the lane. So when you get these windows where you're stronger, you can position a lot more aggressively. And one of those is going to be, you talked in the loading screen about your level 2, right?
Yeah.
So here, you're going to hit level 2 off the next minion. It's really good that you knew when your level 2 timer was. So when you hit this, okay, you're hitting 2 off of this minion, and now his Q's on cooldown. It's not ideal that you didn't dodge the Q, but that's fine. That's just a micro mistake. I would walk up now to like here, and then you can last hit this minion backwards, and then you see how the wave is here, right? And if you hit level 2 and stand here, he has to go all the way back to the turret. If you think about how much space you're, like, where the wave is and how much space you would control by standing here at level 2 when he's level 1, you can push him all the way away from the wave and make him drop last hits and XP. Now you do have the intent of moving up, but the problem is you can't punish him at all with your level 2 because you're not moving up until after the minion's dead. So you should be moving up before the minion dies, and then you kill it backwards, and then you're already here, and then if he's standing here, he's fucked. If he's standing here, he's fucked. Here, he's fucked. He has to be like all the way back here to be set. Like this distance here is sort of like this distance here, right?
Yeah.
He has to be that far away, but at that point, he's like he's not even in XP range of this minion. So you can make him miss XP by doing this. That's the first thing. And it's like, this is all about like maximizing your windows where you're stronger. So again, now he has no Q. As soon as he uses that Q, I would walk up and stand down here. And then you just have in your head, like, I have this window where his Q's on cooldown. I'm going to abuse it. And then when his Q's coming back up, you'll leave. If you watch Chovy VODs, Chovy is so good at this. He tracks cooldowns perfectly. And he just makes the most of every little window where something's on cooldown, and he just plays as aggressive as humanly possible inside that window.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, here you checked down here. So now at this point we know what Nico's doing, right? She's done her bot camps because she's got red buff and she's here at level 2, and then she's going to do her top camps after. So 1, we know what Nico's doing, and 2, where you're standing is very good. Because if you need to do anything, you can come into here. But most of the time, like, this wave is actually frozen right now. So you don't actually want to move. It's just, if you have to, you can.
Yeah.
But you want to crash the wave. It's a good invade by Volibear. Unfortunately, he doesn't get the chicken. Okay, and now I remember you get a very big trade onto this guy as you crash this wave. Oh, he actually tries to trade onto you. Okay, so here you flash in and you kill him and you you die, and then he misses the wave and he has to TP. Yeah, I think that's what happens, right? That's fine.
Yeah.
You trade 1 for 1 and it's winning for you. The other thing you can do if you want to be more conservative, like, as soon as I see this position, it's massively winning for Cassio. Do you know why?
Why?
Because if you base, it's going to bounce off the tower and slow push into you, and you can just walk back and Zed will have to teleport back. So you've effectively just won his teleport with that trade. And the reason you won it is because you were crashing a big wave into his turret, right? The amount of tempo that you gain by taking a reset on a crashed wave. Like, you always want to reset on a crashed wave, right? It's the best possible recall. So as soon as he takes this trade, this is a really bad trade from him. I mean, you got his flash as well. So yeah, if you just kill this minion and let the wave crash and just recall now, You basically just won his... You got his teleport and his flash for free. You also killed him, so that works. You got the first blood gold, he didn't, and he loses these minions to the tower, and he has to TP, and you save yours. So it's literally the same situation if you trade 1 for 1 or you trade 0 for 0. Just remember that you don't have to force that kill if you don't want to. You can just base, and it's still winning. Like, it would be this exact scenario where Zed has no flash, no TP. You would still have your flash, and no one would have a kill. And that's also really winning for you.
What if what if I backed and Zed kept pushing the wave? What would I do?
If you based here,
So,
and
yeah, if I
Zed,
base there and
if he tries to push the next wave, you could just TP in and stop him pushing it because he's 2 health. Or you might even have time to just walk back and stop him pushing it because he's 2, like... It's not easy for him to push this wave out. There's a lot of minions here for him to kill. In the time it takes you, like, mid lane resets are quite fast. You only have to walk to here from there. But when you base like that, if they try to crash the wave, you want to stop them crashing the wave. And then they have to take an awkward reset. So I don't think, even though he TPs and he's trying to push, I still don't think he's going to... Yeah, he's not pushing this in time. And you just walk back. Okay. He's really trying to force it into the tower. A lot of champions have like a main spell, right? So you talked about Syndra before. For Syndra, it's the E. If the E's on cooldown, you can just get in her face and she can't really do anything about it. For Zed, it's W, right? When his W is on cooldown, you are favored in every fight. His W is now on a 20-second cooldown. So what I would do is not let this wave crash and just go and fight him while he's got no W. Maybe level 4 into level 3, maybe not. And it is quite big. If this was like 1 wave, then I'd probably do that.
Okay.
Maybe the wave's too big for you to do it. If you were level 3 as well, like the level was tied, then maybe you could do that. It is quite risky, level 4 into level 3. But we do want to punish him using W. We don't see him yet, so yeah, I wouldn't start... As soon as you see him, I would start fast pushing. So we see him now. And now I would just start fast pushing. And he would lose this cannon wave to the tower. Don't quite get it in time. That's fine. Okay. Now Aatrox TP's in. And what you end up with here is, like, if you compare this to what happened, you know what happened to the Zed early? This is the same situation. It's very winning for you. Except this time he doesn't even have TP, because he used it to get to the lane. So you see how he can't play the game if you were to base right now and instantly TP, and just keep pushing into him. Like, he's 2 health, and he needs to recall, but you're pushing, so he doesn't want to recall. So you've kind of locked him. In the lane. Like, he can't do anything, and what he would either have to base and drop the wave to the turret, or they would have to try and like bring Zed down, and then he can base and then he can go top or something. But yeah, he's locked in right now because you have TP and he doesn't, and you've pushed, and he's low, so
Got it.
this is something you can do with TP into Ignite as well. You can take a trade, push the wave, base and TP, and then they're just stuck in lane with you at a big disadvantage. So what you do is here, you TP back in and you would try to stop him crashing this wave. I think also you want to reset faster. That was a very safe recall that you did, walking all the way back to your tower, but it's also a very slow recall. So he has had a lot of time to push it. Like, for me, I would probably just recall here.
What about like the Nico? So my thought process was like I didn't do that because of the Nico.
Well, actually, you have a pink here, so you can just recall like here, and then you have vision around here. That's really safe as well.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, I didn't see the pink under the scoreboard, but with this pink, yeah, just recall next to your pink. You just saved a lot of time. Okay, if you can stop this recall, again, he's in that position where he's stuck in lane with you. And this is actually a fairly good recall for him. He should have just channeled this and walked back to lane. This is the best recall he's going to get for a long time. But he stays, and now you're level 6. I think what you can do, if we knew that Aatrox didn't have flash, which I didn't, I don't know if you did, but if we knew he didn't have flash, I think if he ever tries to Q a minion to last hit it, you can just ult him, and then even if he ease away with the ult slow, you can just run after him and kill him.
Okay.
But that's dependent on him not having flash. A lot of champions don't have dashes, right? And you can just ult them, even just for the slow, like not even for the stun. But one thing about Aatrox is that if he Qs a minion, he will be facing you. Like Aatrox Q determines which way he faces, so. And again here, you see how much stronger you are than him, right? Like, especially because you hit 6 off this minion. This isn't playable for him, right? So if you were to stand here or here, choosing which of these to stand in would be based on, do we know where the enemy jungler is? Like, do we know if they're bot side or top side? If they're top side, I would stand in this one. If they're bot side, I would stand in this one, just so that you're safer. But yeah, if you walk all the way up, he can never get to these minions. Like, the fact that he walks in here is not allowed, if you get what I mean. Like, if you imagine you're playing Aatrox, right? And the enemy Cassio is a challenger player that's trying to do literally everything they can to kill you, and you do this. Like, you just walk into the wave. You will die.
Yeah.
Because the challenger player is going to not let you anywhere near this. It'll be stood here or here, and you just sit here, and then I would push the wave slowly and just keep zoning every last hit and XP that you can. And if he ever tries to greed a single last hit, I would just kill him. I think, yeah, this goes quite well for you, actually. This goes really well. Okay, yeah, so now they're losing this top wave, which is great because they have both solo laners here and you've crashed this wave. This is a great time for you to just recall. You just recall, come back out, like they need to clear this and push the next one, and then recall because they're low. And in the time you do that, you can just recall and come back to lane and not let them crash it, and then they don't get a good recall. The other thing you can look to do is that, as it happens, I would try to plan this in advance rather than just do it. But as it happens, this is the perfect time to get the honey through. So there's a little bit of variance. They can spawn between 6 minutes and 6:30. But every time I go at 6:15, they're always there. The wiki says 6 minutes to 6:30, I think. But they're always there when I go. If I turn fog off, you can see there's a honey fruit here.
Yeah.
And there's a honey fruit here. There will be one in both rivers. So if your top laner needs the top one, then maybe you can go for the bot one. The good thing about mid is that you can go for either of them, or you can go for like whichever one your laner has prio in to make it safer for you. As it happens here, both do. So you could go for either of these plants, but that would just fill your resources back up, and then you can stay in lane and keep pushing as well.
Got it.
I'm going to turn fog back on because it's much better to review games with the information that we had at the time rather than all information. Okay, so yeah, now you're kind of in an awkward position. But Shen ends up saving you, I think, right? Which is when I want to talk about another thing that you could do. And that's when I'm going to start talking about pinging, is when this Shen saves you and you kill Zed. So you could be in basically this exact same scenario, except if you'd taken the fruit, you would be like nearly full health and half mana, or if you'd recalled, you'd be full on both. And you would be in
Okay.
the same position. And then here, you kill him and Shen ults you. Okay, so something you can do now, this is going to be, if your top laner TPs to you, or, you know, Shen ults you, or something like that, what's going to happen now, like, if I show you this freeze frame, what's going to happen now in top lane?
He's gonna push that wave.
Yes. So what do you need to do right now?
Ping my Shen to fast push mid.
Yeah, and meanwhile, what would you do?
Back.
And then...
Go top.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. So I would tell Shen to push mid, recall, go top, and catch the top wave. And then Shen's not wasting any time off of his ult, and you're not wasting any time because you need to recall anyway. And then you can just go here and catch this wave that's going to be lovely and set up for you. But he actually just leaves, and then you're in this awkward position where you've now got to try and push this wave out with no health or mana. So yeah, it would be much better if you did what you just said. As it happens, you do manage to kind of push it. But the problem with this, right, is that, yeah, you're going to get back relatively... You're not going to miss too many minions, but Zed has full prio now. Whereas if you'd done it the other way around, Zed wouldn't have this. You would be catching top, and then Zed would be, like, down here catching the wave that Shen had pushed. And then Shen would be somewhere else. So I'm surprised Volibear doesn't just die here. Or does he die here? No, he gets out. Okay. They don't go on him. So yeah, you only missed 3 minions. Now, I think, knowing that he already altered to kill you, right? I thought him poking you with W here was, like, very greedy. Because now, if you just be very aggressive again, and just walk up here for 20 seconds, and you just keep pushing him away from the wave, because he's got no W, right? So you just go get in his face and just fuck with him. And I didn't know exactly when his ult was coming back up, but it's 30 seconds. I knew it was still a fair while away because he used it to get this kill on you here.
Yeah.
So finding these cooldown windows where you can punish, these are the mistakes that people make, like below Master or Grandmaster or Challenger, that you don't really see until you review it. Okay? Again, as Cassio, you're not the best at, like, you're not like an Ahri who has charm, who's really good at playing around your jungler, but it's good that you're looking just to see if you need to. You don't normally want to. Okay, now you're taking the pink and they're bleeding this wave. This is good. Another thing you could have looked to do as well, in this window where Zed wasted his W and didn't have ult. Where is it? Is it here? It's coming back up now. Here we go. Yeah, so he pokes you with W here. As soon as this... I mean, to be honest, he can't really go to that shadow anyway. It's, like, under your tower. If he ever goes to last hit a minion with, like, an auto attack, or a Q or something, while that's on cooldown, you could just R-flash on him. And then, I think worst case scenario, he's going to have to flash away from you and you traded flash for flash, but you also got, like, full control of mid. That's just because his ult's on cooldown and his W's on cooldown. So, like, if you R-flash on him right now, I think if you stun him, he dies. And if you slow him, he probably flashes away. But if you stun him, then you can chain it into the W and he can't flash and he just dies. Because he's got no W, no ult. He can't fight you, so you can look to do that. If, for example, if it was, I don't know, an Ari, right? And she had no ult. Then if she had no ult and then she used her charm, all of a sudden you could just R flash on her and just run her down.
Yeah.
Okay. I like these wards onto chickens. They give a lot of info, which is really good. I have a full video about jungle tracking, which I'll send to you after the session, and you can watch that in your own time. It just saves me spending a lot of the session talking about jungle tracking when I already have a full, essentially like a course on it, kind of,
Yeah.
that you can just look at. And then based on that, I'll talk about some stuff that we see. When do we see it? I wrote 11 minutes on my... Okay. Oh yeah, one thing is, if you are playing Roa, you could have based the wave before. Or even, I think, 2 waves before you had gold for it. It's one of those items where you want to get it as soon as possible to get it stacking. So if you get the gold for it and you can just push a wave and reset, I would, just to get it going.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So now this ward that you get, like this is your ward, right? And you find Nico, and you see her, and she has blue buff, and she's just got to her chickens. So it's pretty reasonable to assume she pathed like this. And then I thought she was probably going to go into this and then this. But you also said that she could come here, which is true. But regardless, I think it's pretty safe to say that she's going to be in this section of the map
Uh-huh.
for a while. Okay, so if we look at where you stand in lane, again, I think you're much stronger than this Zed at this point, and you can, if he ever uses W, you can look to punish him quite hard. Here is what I was looking at. So we still have the ward, right? So we know that she didn't come like this. But there's sneaky stuff she could do. She could come like round here and then through here. And she could look to EU over here. The main thing is, we know that she is on this side of the map. And we know that she's not on this side of the map. So if you were to take this exact positioning here that you have in the lane and just put it on the other side of the lane, you just put it here, then you can literally never be ganked. In no world can you ever be ganked by this Nico, because we know that she has to be on the bot side of the map. And then I would also say, to be more aggressive, I would position more like here. But the side, if you just split the lane straight down the middle, the side that you want to play on as mid is either playing towards your jungle. I mean, it's all based on jungle, right? If you're wanting to keep yourself safe from Zed, if you think he's stronger than you, then you probably want to play towards your jungler, so your jungler can come and help you if need be. If you're worried about getting ganked or something, then you want to play away from their jungler. And then the other thing you can do is that if you're wanting to set up a gank, right? Let's say you wanted to make Zed gankable. You see where a lot of the time what people will do is, if you stand here, he'll stand here. And if you were to stand here, he would probably stand here. And if you were to, he's like tethering with you, you know?
Yeah.
So if you were to stand here, he might stand here. And that's pushing him into your jungle with your pink ward. So there's 2 big benefits to being in this pocket of the lane. One is that it pushes Zed towards your jungle, and 2 is that it moves you away from their jungle.
Got it.
And now he used his W. So a lot of the time, what happens is he does this, right? And you take damage, and that makes you feel like, ooh, I just took damage, I should click backwards. But in reality, all of his spells are now on cooldown, which means that he can't actually do anything, so you should click forwards. Even though you just took damage and it feels weird to walk in after taking damage, it's actually the best time for you to walk in. Because if you click back and do nothing, then these are just coming back up for free. Like, you haven't punished his use of them. So, like, the Q you landed as well, that's good. Just if you landed that Q and you were stood here, you could E. Whereas because you're stood all the way back here, you can't actually do anything with it. So you didn't punish his use of his spells there. Okay, here Again, here is a really good example of like if we can assess what's going to happen in the game and play based on that. So we can see this gank coming in. I would assume, playing with Shen, that when this happens, there's a reasonable chance of Shen ulting. So what you can look to do is just push mid wave and go top to catch the wave that Shen is abandoning. And that's like a really good use of your time to just get more resources into not only yourself but in the team as well, right? Because if Shen drops it, nobody's getting them. I also don't think this is a great timer for you to move anyway. I know you're wanting to be part of this play, but you just completely drop mid wave. It's not you want to get it shoved in before you're moving, unless it's like if the play's happening round here or like here, then yeah, you can just go to it because it's right there. But you're walking all the way to bot lane. In the time it takes you to walk to bot lane and get back to mid, this Zed can maybe make you miss 2 waves. Like, you're going to miss this one for sure, and maybe you can even fast push the next one. Like, if I was coaching you from Zed's POV, I would tell him to fast push and take plates, and then the next wave I would fast push and try and walk into the jungle to stop you coming back to lane. Like, if you're trying to come back to lane through here, he could be standing here already, and he can fight you because the wave's on the tower, and he would make you miss the wave. So, you're just dropping a lot to move to this play. Whereas if you pushed this wave and then saw that Shen ulted bot, and then you could walk top and get this wave, then you're gaining way more. Now this is good. Now we have the wave pushed, and the Drake's already dead. But if it was still going on, you could move to it. This would be a good time to move, because the wave's crashing into his turret. As it happens, there's nothing really to do. You can just take a plate. Sometimes you could look to go top, but I don't think Cassio is really the champ to do that on. I would more be focused on acquiring as many resources as you can, like that stuff about collecting waves. Also, yeah, this is not Ziggs. One good thing to really get into the habit of is so like here, I think at this point you know this wave is going to go into the turret, right? Because you're just going to kill these. So at this point I would look down here, because then I'm looking for something to do. When you crash a wave, you want to be doing something, or at least looking to do something. Now, doesn't really look like there's anything to do here or here, and the jungler's not doing anything. The first person you should look at is your jungler. If there's something you can do with them, let's say he was going for this red buff on respawn, then you could push this wave in and come here with him and contest this red, and then you can just go back to lane and get the next wave. But it's really good to get into the habit of, like, people say, oh, map awareness, map awareness, map awareness. And I think people, when they hear it, they think it means just, like, constantly look at the map. But I don't think that's actually what you should be doing. I mean, if you can, then sure, but you need to look at other things as well, right? You need to actually look at your lane, but there's times where you should. So right here, you're under no threat of anything happening, and you know you're about to crash a wave, so you're looking for something to do. So I would look at the map, and I'd be like, okay, well, Volibear's here, so we can't play for these grubs. Maybe next time I push a wave, we can play for the grubs, because Volibear's probably going to end up topside. It looks like he's clearing up. See if that happens. And then I just wait for the next one. Okay, as it happens, he crashed through mid. Not crashed, he passed through mid. Like this, and now he's on the grubs. So now I would, before we had them doing dragon, right? Now we have them doing grubs. Really contest this push, because if you contest the push, then Zed can never move. So at best, it's good if you can push the wave in and then you can move. Even if you can't get the wave in, if you just contest it, you can even fight him, just so that there's no way he can move to this play. And then even though you're not even leaving your lane, you're still helping. Here, again, another example of him using his spells, so now they're on cooldown. The main thing I think I would do with this, based on the fact that my team is doing grubs, is just force the wave into his tower. Now that he can't contest it since his spells are on cooldown. But you can also look for trades on him. Okay, getting the fruit is fine. It does mean that Zed gets some tempo. So I think this is kind of... There's only been 2 times in the game, really, where this guy's ever had control, like, ever been able to push and do something. Which is really good. That means you've been winning the whole time. But now he has one. One was when you were moving down and you dropped the wave. And then the other one is now, when you grabbed the fruit. He's pushed this in and now he could look to do something. So here, back to, like, communicating about pings. I would start pinging on my bot lane's head. Because if you ping, I think this might be your missing ping here. If you ping here, a lot of the time they just won't pay attention. But if you ping it on their head, it's like, you know what I mean? It's literally on their screen. They can see it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot more effective to do that. And that'll stop, well, it won't stop, it will reduce the amount of times your team randomly die to your laner, which is always beneficial. Now Nico's going for the cheeky little gank. And this is just a case of figuring out how many minions there are. There's too many here. Something's wrong. And it doesn't, when she comes out of disguise, it doesn't really give you much time to... Okay, we're now at about 14 minutes. At this point in the game, I'm generally wanting... depending on team comp, it can differ, but most of the time, you're wanting your solo laners in your side lane and your AD carry and support mid. There's a couple of reasons for this. One main one is that laning is not so much a thing anymore, right? So if you can hold this lane by yourself, this lane is safer because it's shorter. So that one thing is that you put your AD carry in mid and they're safer to like catch waves alone, which is really good because catching waves alone frees up your support to move around the map. And then the other thing is the location of the lane. If you have your AD carry and support here, and your support is freed up by your AD carry being like safely able to catch the waves, if they can do that in laning phase, then your support can move from here pretty much to anywhere around here, right? But if they're doing that in mid lane, you also open up your support to move anywhere around here as well. So once we get into mid game and the support's wanting to like move around the map and get stuff done, it's much better for them to be in mid. So as soon as your bot lane, it's normally going to be your bot lane, unless it's like they've swapped into top lane or something at some point. As soon as they seem willing to take mid and you can take the side lane, I would, which you do this game, which is good. And then from here, we're looking more at how to use hopefully the lead we've gained by being better than the enemy in lane, by focusing on all these ways to punish them in lane. This is very nice, you get a couple of kills, and then you do a nice early flash here, save all your health. So yeah, ideally I would have Misfortune coming mid from base, and you would go bot. I think maybe that does happen. Or does she go bot? No, she goes bot. I can't remember when she comes mid. There we go. Okay. Now let's talk about mid-game and how we're going to... Honestly, both solo laners do the same thing. I said as top lane, you're going to be doing a lot in both side lanes because a lot of mid laners won't. They'll just group. But since I'm teaching you how to play mid lane properly, we will be looking after one of the side lanes. So, looking at this map state, what do we want to do with this side lane? And why?
We want to push it out, so for Dragon, to prepare for Dragon.
Yeah. So what's the benefit of us pushing it out?
Someone's going to have to catch it, and they won't be able to be at the Dragon.
and then while they're catching it, you can move into here. The other thing is that right now, let's say Zed is here, and you are here. Okay? And all of this space is not warded by any team. Only one of you can realistically get to Dragon without being seen. Because the minions act as a ward for this passage here, if you get what I mean.
Yeah.
So as well as the ability to create a numbers advantage by someone standing here to catch the wave, you also in effect gain vision of this passage by having your wave pushing. So now not only can you move up here into a potential dragon play, Zed can't move this. He's gonna have to come this way, realistically. And if he tries to come this way, you'll see him with the minions. But you can go that way, and they won't see you. So you have an extra approach to dragon, and you're creating pressure. So yeah, here we zoom back in. If we push this lane, and then you can just move up. And it doesn't look like your team need you here. Have a look. Okay, yeah. I think you're stronger than this guy right now. Something you could look to do. Maybe there's a better time to show it. Yeah, this is a good time to show it. To be honest, you could have also moved up and like pincered her in like this, and then she has to find some other way. She probably has to flash out if you're here and Volley's here. You could look to like check river off of pushing, but now we're pushing another wave. You push this in. And then do you remember I said I would be also pinging dragon? I would always play around the objectives, especially like you've got a very easy win con coming in with 2 more ocean dragons. If you get ocean soul, you're very, very strong. So if you just play for this Drake, it's going to be really good, and that's another time where you can use pings to help your team communicate. So if you've got a situation where like Volley and Maokai are on this Drake, and you and Zed are contesting bot lane, and you push it in. Do you remember how I said that it, like, unless he walks straight through the wave and tries to come up river this way, at which point you'll see that he's doing that because you have the wave. His way into dragon is going to be like this.
Yeah.
So sometimes what you can look to do is you can move up, and then if you know they, like, unless you know they have vision in this bush, you can just walk around. Where's my pen? You can just walk around here and stand here, because this is Zed's only way in, and then he's like face checking you to come to the dragon. Now, this does rely on you, but if you're weaker than Zed, then he face checks you and kills you. But in a lot of the time, we want to be playing from... The whole point of like the lane phase stuff is so that we're playing from an advantage. Okay, that's not ideal, because now we can't really contest the dragon. So now I would just be trying to keep it pushed so that they are not doing the dragon. But it is quite awkward. Another thing I would be thinking about at this point in the game, a lot of it's going to be macro, making sure you're in the right place at the right time. Basically, what we want to do, if we've got like a scale, like this, and we've got 2 like things on either end, and we don't want it to tip either way, and we've got objectives and team fights, but we've also got farming, and we want to get both of these. Right, we want to keep our CS high, but we also want to influence the game, and we have to balance them. So the third thing that we do by pushing waves in, especially, it's really good if we can get these turrets, because then we can push it all the way deep. This gives us more time to go and play somewhere else, and then what happens to the wave if you push it into a turret? Like if you push this wave into here, or if you push this wave here, what will happen to the wave?
It's gonna bounce back.
Yes, and while it's bouncing back, you don't lose many minions. Because on the first wave of the bounce, they're all hitting the turret. So they're not hitting the enemy wave, so you're not losing any there. And then on the next wave, the enemy gets 2 stacked waves, so they just massively overpower your minions and push in. So by the time, if you can get this tower, even if you don't, you can still push it in, but ideally you get this tower and you push the wave deep and it starts bouncing back to you, and then you go and play the objective, and then you come back after the objective and the wave has stacked up and it's come back to here.
Yeah.
So by doing that, we've maximized our farm and influenced the map, the rest of the game. So I would, when you're in a side lane, at this point you're in this side lane, I would definitely try to get this first tower. The second one is more if you can punish the enemy just not being in your side lane, then you can try and get it. But it's quite hard to get the tier 2. But the tier 1, a lot of the time, it's going to have taken a lot of damage through laning. Like this one has, this one has, this one has, this one has, this one not so much. I guess your bot were just winning. And this one has. So a lot of the time it's quite easy to finish off these tier 1s. Okay, so now our, I think you base TP'd, right, to get items for Drake. That's really good. If you can play an objective fight with an item spike, then that's good.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
As for where... Maybe you don't end up TPing, you just walk back. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you got your item spike before the Drake, that's fine. I would push this wave, I think. Yeah. I would push this wave, and then we've got options as to how we approach this fight. So, we push this in, and then one, we can just take this, if no one comes to respond it, and then we can move in. But then also, once it's pushed in, we have a couple of options, right? We can either walk this way, and we can stand next to our team, and we can drop our W and our ult around here, and we can not let them in. Or the other thing is that, let's say there's a champ like Ziggs, right? This is a good example. It's really hard for Cassio to get in range of Ziggs. Okay, if you're trying to come this way and Ziggs is standing here, you're never going to reach him. But if you push this wave in, and you take the tower, and then you walk into the fight this way, and Ziggs is standing here, all of a sudden, if your team is here, it's quite easy for you to get on this guy, because like he has to go this way, I guess, because now he can't go this way. Because you're here. So if you can push the wave in, it opens up different approaches for you to take into fights as well. And also you're maximizing your resources by doing it. You're getting the wave and you're playing the fight and the wave's going to bounce back to you. Because right now you don't really need to be here. Like, nothing's really happening. The Drake hasn't even been started yet. And you can check all of this while you're looking to push the wave. At this point, at this point, if you look at this as a freeze frame, what do you think you should do? I can see two things, and both are fine. What are the two things that I would consider doing here, do you think?
Dragon and going bot.
Going bot is one of them. I wouldn't do Dragon. I don't think you're needed to do it. Like, I think your team can do it without you. I would immediately, like, at this point, I would say the play is over. Like, 2 of them have died, another one's in top lane, and the other, like, another one has to recall. So the Zed is basically dead anyway, right? He has to go to base, which is where you end up when you die. So it's kind of the same thing. So this play's over. So now I would start looking to, like, I did my janitor thing going into the team fight. I mean, you didn't here, but I would have. And then now the play is over, and now I would be like, okay, now the play is over, back to janitor. So one thing I might do is TP top. You might not make it in time, to be honest. Probably not worth it, but you could consider it. Save this tower and catch this wave. The other thing is you can just push bot and take this tower while your team's taking dragon. And then what you can do after you take this tower is you can push the wave deep and then get a really good reset, and then you can come back onto the map and catch it when it bounces. And then we're going to get into a pattern of, like, pushing it deep. I mean, you're pushing mid, that's fine as well. And they went bot and took it. Okay, so now the tower's gone. it's a lot easier for you to play. So let's see. Do you go bot from base?
Turret has been destroyed.
You TP'd into the fight, and you won the fight. Okay, that's fine.
Red team double kill.
And then we're picking Baron, and we're taking Baron. Okay, yeah, and now we're going to talk about how to play the Baron buff. A lot of the time you're not going to get Baron this easily, and you're going to have more of an extended mid-game, but here we did. Okay. How the Baron should be played, unless we have two really strong split pushers, and we can 1-3-1 and threaten both side lanes at the same time, is one of your side lanes, could be you, could be Shen. I would say probably you. Is going to just push the wave deep, and that's going to force one of their team to come and respond. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll just go and group mid. So let's say you had one... Sorry, let me draw in a way. Let's say we had 1-3-1, and they were trying to do like 4 people to defend this, and 1 person to defend this, and one of them has to come here. So at this point, we've both got 1-3-1. But then you push this in and you move up here. So they've got 1-3-1, but you've got 4-1, right? So you're overpowering this mid lane now. And this guy can't respond because he's catching this wave. So you can overpower this mid lane as 4, and then what do you think we do after that? Like, let's say we take this mid tower as 4 people versus 3. What do we do next?
Go top.
Yes, we move into the Shen. So it's like a domino effect, right? You push this in, someone responds to it, you go into your team, you take this, and then this guy might try and move up here, but by the time he does that, you move up here to your other person, and then you've got 5 people on this tower with Baron. And all of a sudden, just off of one push in bot lane, you've taken this one, and you've gained like 1,000 and something gold for your team. And then you can just repeat. You can push side lane, group, and then take something, and then as a full team, rotate into your other side lane. I think that's the ideal way to play Baron. And since you're, as a solo laner, you're in charge of the... Okay, you just got a free kill as well. Lovely. You're in charge of the side lane a lot of the time. If we look at how that could work here, right? If you just take this wave. Now, I know I said push it deep, but as soon as this wave's dead, I class it as being pushed deep, because there's no more minions in this lane. So, like, the minions would just walk all the way to the turret. So as soon as this wave's dead, it's pushed deep. If you just take this wave and walk into mid, and Nico is staying here to get this wave, you're going to get this mid tower, and probably this one, because you've got 4 people here. Well, you actually haven't, because Volibear's top, but you're creating numbers advantages, right? That's how we want to side lane. Especially now that, you see they're coming to respond to this. This guy TP'd in, thinking, I need to respond to this side lane, and if you just walk up the river, and you're here, and you just push mid with your team, you're not losing anything by not being bot, because you've pushed the wave. It's going to bounce back to you, and then when you're done doing the stuff in mid, the wave will have come back here, and you'll have a big wave here to collect.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we're keeping our farm high, and we're also impacting the map.
Got it.
And then this would fall, and this would fall. Like, if you're here now, I think this falls for sure. And then you move here as all 4. Like, you'd ping on my way, and your team hopefully follow your pings, and then this falls too. And then you can either reset, or you can just play off the next waves. Because you're still going to have some Baron left as well. And you don't have to do this with Baron as well. It's just Baron makes it very easy to take turrets. But you can do it without Baron.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
As it happens, no one actually responds to top, and he just takes it on his own somehow. I'm not sure how that happened. And then they come... The other issue with actively trying to take the turret on the side lane is that if they do respond to it, like they did here, you can die to it. And that gives them like something to do as well. But it's not the worst death, because you'll be alive for Drake. At this point, if you're ever on Soul Point, essentially the entire game now revolves around this dragon. So, ideally, I would have Shen pushing top with his ult. Shen here. and you would go down bot and just push bot wave deep so that they have something to respond to, which creates numbers advantages, and you just go and play in the dragon. And again, then based on how deep the wave would be pushed, if you manage to push it all the way in, if we look at the map, right? Let's say the wave is where it is right now, okay? For them, you could be in this bush, or you could be in this bush, or you could be in this bush, or this bush, or you could be on the dragon. And if you're controlling vision as a team, it's really hard once this wave is pushed in, because they can't really come this way anymore. They have to like try and get through the jungle somehow, and you could be in there, and it's much harder for the enemy to play this dragon situation if bot wave is pushed. So that's going to be your job a lot of the time as the solo laner, is going to be getting the wave in position for the objective that you're about to play for. So Shen's going to go and do that in top lane, and he has his ult to respond. A lot of the time it's going to be teleport to respond. Based on Drake being... Actually, the fight starts. So all of that goes out the window because the fight's already started and you just TP straight in. But that's what you would do if they weren't just already fighting. As it happens, they are. You TP in. Play the fight. Kill him. Okay, and here... I would probably just ping Dragon at this point and like try and tell my team not to chase, because this Lulu, it's kind of like the Zed thing earlier, right? She has to go back to base right now, so she's out of the fight anyway. Like the only difference between her being dead and this is that we don't get 300 gold, but at this point in the game we're sitting on 50,000 gold. Like the difference between 50,500 and 50,800 is negligible. We're playing for this. And if you do this, in this game, you're far enough ahead that you just, like, dive them under their towers and slap them with your wallets. But in other games, this is a way you could throw by over-chasing after already winning the play. So I would win the play, and if you can be the one to identify that the play's won and, like, okay, now it's time to go and play the objective, and you ping your team and they follow you, then you can remove a lot of chaos from your games.
So, something that'll happen a lot of the time is, let's imagine this exactly happened, and I'll ping Dragon. My team will still chase. So, do I like commit to that?
Then I would go with them. Yeah, if you know the right thing to do and you tell them to do it and they still don't do it, then I would say just do the same thing as your team, so that you're not split. But it's not ideal. Like, it happens in solo queue. Sometimes you have to embrace the chaos. Yeah, I would play with your team, but I would try to get your team to play for the right things.
Okay.
Okay, I don't think we had too much of a mid-late game, so I wasn't able to talk too much about things because you kind of just ran them over after, like, 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I think this first tower fell at... What, is it this one here? Yeah, this tower falls after 19 minutes, and you won the game at 25. So we didn't really have much time where we could play in the side lanes, but we're going to do another game, so we might get that. But from this game, do you have any questions?
No, I mean, I like that. That was a pretty straightforward game. Like I said,
Yeah, it wasn't the hardest game.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go in another one. I definitely, for your lane phase, definitely try to like think about where these windows are that you can punish. So something that I do in top lane, not so much anymore because I've played the matchups hundreds of times now, but like I used to, let's say I was laning against Jax, right? I'd just go here. Just go, okay, so in lane he's gonna have 8-second cooldown on his jump and 17 on his E. So if he casts E, I've got 17 seconds where I can trade and he can't really trade back. And if he casts Q, then I've got 8 seconds where I can like go on, I can dash on him as like a Riven or something, and he can't jump away. And you're just thinking about those timers. So, you know, if you end up against a Syndra, right? You search for Syndra. Okay, her E in lane is going to be a 17-second cooldown. So if she uses E, I've got 17 seconds where I can try and punish it.
Got it.
And then also, like, the carry-on effect of that is where you're positioning in your lane, as well as just trying to find trades. A lot of the time, what I say to explain it is last hit backwards, if you get what I mean by that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're like further down the lane and you're controlling more space. if you want to share your screen again and jump in another game, see how it goes. It'll be 2 secs while you get in game.
Sounds good.
Okay, I am back. Oh, we're still in queue.
Yeah.
Maybe no one's playing right now. Send you this video now. I'm not wanting you to watch it now. You can watch it whenever you feel like.
Okay.
But it's just a video that I have on jungle tracking. So it has stuff like how to find the enemy jungle early, how to figure out what side of the map they're going to be on, and how long they're going to be there for. And then this is from the perspective of top lane. So you're in like a side lane where if they're on the opposite side of the map, they can't gank you. In mid lane, it's different. They're just going to be you know what side they're on, and you know what side of the lane to position on. But it's to do with knowing what side of the map they're on, how long they're going to be there for, what timings to expect them to transition onto the other side for, and how long they're going to be there, and how to figure out what camps they've done by pressing tab and looking at their CS and stuff like that.
All right. Oh, I got autofilled support.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Should I ask for mid?
Yeah, it's worth a try.
What did I do?
Should I
Oh, that's
just
a shame.
dodge?
Yeah, you can just dodge, I guess. Do you have a second account, or are we just waiting for the main one?
We can wait for the main one.
All right.
Yeah, is it? I mean, am I gonna have a what, like a 5 minute?
It should be 5 minutes, yeah. I guess in the meantime, the only thing you really have access to is the practice tool, so I'm not really sure what things to tell you to do in practice tool for Cassiopeia.
Your will, my hands.
Yeah, I feel like I said, like mechanically I'm like decent in terms of like knowing Casio.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to really abuse the lead sometimes, and I don't really. Sometimes there's a lot of a time where I'm like, I don't really know what to do. Like I'll push something that like I wrote down when you said it that really like stuck was like I'll push a wave, but I don't really know what I'm doing after. Like I don't look at the mini map to kind of see what I'm gonna do with the
Okay.
wave push.
Yeah. You're just looking for opportunities or like places where you could be, and a lot of the time it's going to be around your jungler.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Yeah.
Waste not a minute.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
Your stream has gone off since the
Oh
client
yeah.
restart.
Sorry, I'm just.
Oh, it's fine. We've got
waiting.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
3 more minutes.
Your will, my hands.
The thing I said about the Zed though, like when he on that, there was like a rare occasion where he did actually get pushed into you. When they're crashing a wave, just like when you're crashing a wave, you're going to be looking at the map for something to do.
My vision holds
You kind of assume the enemy's going to be looking for something to do as well. So you can ping your team to be like, guys, this is his roam timer. Because he wants to roam while the wave is pushed. He doesn't want to roam after that.
Let me hear.
Until minions spawn.
That way you can keep your team safe.
I will atone.
How are we doing? 50 seconds, nearly there.
I will master the dragon spirit. Or die. We do what we must.
we go.
Today will be a worthy.
See how long the queue is this time.
Yeah.
Where am I needed?
Bless you.
Thank you. Pretty fast.
Okay, we got mid.
What did I do?
Someone's messaging me.
There is no antidote for me.
Okay. I think similarly to Zed last time banned Lee Sin, which is why I thought it might be Zed jungle, and this time the Talon banned Shyvana. So again, I'm like, maybe it's Talon jungle, but we shall see. Yeah,
Oh
okay.
yeah.
I guess it could be Talia jungle, but no, okay, yeah. Wait, what? Talon jungle, Yasuo mid, Volibear top. Okay.
Yeah.
I think Casio looks pretty good here. Like, into their entire top side, your champ is very good. Into their bot lane, you're not the best, but...
Yeah.
Okay, Yasuo doesn't I mean, he does have cooldown windows. His Q is 4 seconds in lane, but they're very small. It's more about spacing and landing your spells. Wind Wall, though, that's a big one that you can play around.
Got it. Should I go? I don't know.
There's a little tip for this matchup. The first thing I would do is try to figure out what spell he started. If he started Q, you can actually harass him quite a lot at level 1. If he started E, then he can do the like E through the whole wave into full charged E on you thing. I know P Zhang takes Doran's Ring on Yasuo and starts E. And he E's on you with the Doran's Ring AP, and it just does like 300 damage. Not literally, but I think it does like 200 if it's fully stacked.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Very nice. A lot of info from that ward. So what I would say, as a general rule of thumb, is that with him starting bot side like this, he could gank you in mid about 230, and then he's looking to gank you from, or maybe 215. Yeah, do like 215, 315. He's looking to gank you from bot side, I mean, at 215, and then at 315 he's looking to gank you from top side. Now, your junglers might clear slower. Okay, yeah, he did E, that's fine. He can't E you again, so yeah, now you can... Good. Nice, good auto at the end there.
First blood. An ally has been slain.
Oh, he's doing the typical Yasuo thing. Okay, he used Flash and Ignite. It's fine. You just TP back in and it's massively winning for you. I would get Amped Tome rather than Mana Crystal. You got a tier anyway. But yeah, look how many minions he's missing. It's pretty doomed for him. So what's going to happen as a result of this is that you're going to have a huge XP lead because of the minions he's missed. So I would probably you can either thin the wave like this or you can let it crash. And then once there's not a giant minion wave threatening you, you can really use this level lead.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice.
An enemy has been slain.
Very nice.
An enemy has
Nice. Got the last Q as well. And he just missed XP on that minion too. Yeah, level 4 to level 2. Man, it's beautiful to see. He can't play the game. Lovely. You're just giving him absolutely no space to play. Oh, that's not ideal. You probably have to respect him a little now because he's... Oh, maybe not. I think if any of those Qs landed, he was dead, to be honest.
Yeah, I kind of like horribly misplayed that.
It's okay, Nunu's here and he's flashless. Yeah, that doesn't work, fella. You can't win all that. I'd ping him to help you push so that you can reset. Oh, he's coming back in with a snowball, I guess. Nope, he's not. No idea what he's doing. Alright, I guess you just have to reset. Like, ideally you'd get the push off and reset, but... what can you do? Okay.
slain an enemy.
Do you live? Oh my god, that's tragic for him.
Yeah.
Oh, and Yasuo's pushing. Lovely. I think him freezing would be worse for you. That went quite well. Ooh, Nunu stopping his reset would be nice for you. Nice.
Oh.
As long as Nunu doesn't die. Yeah, he's got phase rush.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do you punish this?
I shove this next wave.
Yep, and then he misses it to the tower. And then you're chilling. And you're miles ahead again. Even though you got set a little bit behind by not being able to crash that wave, it wasn't nearly as far as he got set behind by dying with a stacked wave without TP. So once this wave bounces back off, you can play aggressive again, and you're going to hit 6 as well. Yep. He's starting his full clear back towards top. So he did bot to top at the start. So he's gonna. That's the order his camp's respawning.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, based on how this lane went, yeah, you're hitting 6 way before him. So if you just don't let this crash, like just walk through it, then now when you hit 6, the wave's gonna be all the way up here, and he has to come and do something about it. But you're gonna be level 6, so he can't really do anything about it. And now he just can't farm. And now he's got no wind wall. Oh,
I'm like misplaying this horribly.
yeah,
I'm
well,
just,
I
like-
mean, that's fine. The intent is good, so that happens as well. If you play that situation 3 more times, you'll probably play it correct, all 3 of them.
Yeah.
Sometimes we just miss spells. Everyone's human, and it happens. But you can see why the play is good, right? If you hit anything,
Yeah.
he would just be
Yeah.
dead. And like by putting the wave in that position, he has to do something about it, but he can't realistically do something about it. I think Nunu might die as well. Okay, no, he's phase rush again. He's so slippery. This is kind of like, do you remember the position we were talking about with the Zed and the Aatrox where they're low and they don't have TP?
Yeah.
So if you push into them, they just get trapped in lane.
An enemy has been slain.
Okay, he's staying. Now that you've seen that he stayed, you can slow down the push and just make him fight for every little bit of CS he wants to get. Just make life as difficult for him as you possibly can. You got your ult coming back up as well. Probably just ult him. Yep. I'm so glad the Nunu didn't get that. I would generally, unless you're planning to push the next wave too, I would base quickly.
Okay.
Higher tempo
And
bases are
I
better.
should just... Okay.
Once the wave is in the tower, then it's like time to base because I'll show you why actually. You'll be able to see. In these scenarios, I would probably buy Dark Seal.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So the faster you get back out on the map, the less likely it is that Yasuo can crash this wave, which is going to put it in that position like when you missed your spells and didn't kill him, where it's just outside your tower. That's really hard for him to play. Whereas now, like, you see, if we were just a little bit faster from base, we could hold the wave.
Yeah, I could hold it again.
Yeah. So that's why I like really like high tempo recalls.
Shut down. An enemy has been slain.
And then yeah, if you think he's roaming or doing something across the map, you push to punish, and then once you've pushed, you can match. And now if you 2v1 this guy, yeah, he needs to go back to mid. So here you could look to dive bot with Nunu. This is one of those times where it's like, I've crashed the wave, I can look to make a play. Okay, yeah, you're not needed. But you see, like, the mental flow.
Yeah.
It's like, I've crashed my wave, I'm
Yeah.
looking to do something, there's something to do, I'll go do that. And now you come back, and your wave's there, waiting for you. And you didn't, like, you literally lost 0 minions by heading towards bot for that dive, because of how you set it up. Also, stuff that you would normally do, like landing all your spells or just like mechanically playing, while you're thinking more consciously about other things, that stuff naturally gets worse. So it's not that you're just like worse at the game or something, it's just your brain is doing a lot more thinking about stuff that you're not fully used to yet, and it's very natural for that to happen. I always tell people not to worry.
I'm gonna shove this next wave so I can have prio to. Actually, I might just rotate.
Nah, I'd shove the wave first. There you go, and now he's good. Now I would go, because now you got the wave in. Okay, they died. But maybe you can find Talon.
Shut down.
Maybe not. Oh. Yeah, he's just gonna jump away, he's Talon. You got... Okay, yeah, that looks good. Either he can go mid from base, or you can TP back to mid.
Jesus, I'm like misplaying everything.
That's fine. Again, I think the intent of the play is very good, and now you can TP mid and just push it again. And the reason I would TP here is that your team is starting Drake, so you want control of the lane. If nothing's happening, you could probably save your TP there. Now back to cooldown tracking. You've got about 20 seconds where he's got no wind wall. But I don't think you're going to have an opportunity to do anything because he's not here.
Yeah.
You can always think about it. Okay, and now looks like Ash wants you to go into the side lane. Yeah, take the wave first. If this was like competitive and I was coaching a team, which I'm currently the coach for a UKL Division 1 team, I would tell them to give Ash the wave. But in solo queue, you are the only person that you know is any good. So unless you know your ADC is really good, like they're like 6-0 or something, I would just take the wave there and go bot. Make yourself as strong as possible, because you're the only consistent factor in your games.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Okay, so what are we doing now?
Shoving this next wave, and then I want to take a camp and maybe go.
Okay, yeah. Taking a jungle camp is good. You can also just go mid if it looks like something's happening.
Been slain. An enemy has been slain.
Yeah, so Melio is catching that, so Jinx is on her own. And you could ping to help you on that Jinx, and maybe Lux would have moved up.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh, hello.
Oh.
But if you look at the bot lane wave,
Plating will fall
when it meets this wave, I would imagine you have not lost a single minion for that move. Yeah, there's still 6 minions there. So for that entire time you just spent in the enemy jungle, you lost... Now that it pushed back out to here, you did end up losing 1. So you lost 1 minion for all of that time you spent in their jungle. And also you had to take the slow way back to lane because Yasuo turned up. I think you're stronger than him, like looking at his items.
shut down. An ally has been slain.
Might have to flash this. Okay. I would try and flash those on reaction rather than prediction.
An enemy has been slain.
Now you probably need to base. Like, just leave. Yeah. Good W. Stops him dashing on you. The danger is he could, like, flash on you with a tornado and you can't really do much about it.
Yeah.
Because you just lost your flash. You got two options as well. You can just base, or you can try and be really greedy and stay one more wave for your TP. So when you're looking at your TP timer, a wave is 30 seconds. So yeah, you could like, since he didn't show on this, maybe he's not here anymore. And then if you grab this, then you know the next wave's not going to be there until you've got TP. So what you can even look to do here is you can base, and then you can start heading out towards mid instead of. Okay, no, he's there. You can maybe just TP back.
An ally has been slain.
I think I could have got that off.
Maybe, but you're being safe, it's fine. So yeah, he's pushing this to like punish your recall, but you just TP. There's no punish. Right now he has push, so he could do something. Okay, you have ult in 5 seconds.
Enemy killing spree.
Okay, bit more of a struggle than last game.
Been destroyed.
It's okay, I'm looking to go mid.
Yep, you have push on him right now, so he wants to catch the wave, and you can move. Okay, that was a good try. Again, the more fights like this you put yourself in as well, the more experience you get, and the better you'll play them, like on average. So I do like just pushing side lane and then going and finding a fight as well. I think it's very good practice to just sharpen yourself up in the fights as well.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing you can start doing is like the Cho'Gath's really struggling with the Volibear, but I think your champ's really good into Volibear. So you can even try to deliberately take the side lane volleys in.
Okay.
And that way you don't have like this big black hole of pressure from Volibear versus Cho'Gath anymore. Because I think you're fine against volley.
Yeah. Just it might be that, but yeah.
He's quite tanky, but... Okay, maybe not. Maybe I underestimated him. Okay, yeah, that guy's just a demon at this point, I guess.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, he's
Jesus.
dead. Actually not sure what the best way to itemize into that guy is. I think there's like a case for Leandries just to have higher damage. There's a case for Oblivion Orb because he heals a shit ton, and there's also a case for like a Void Staff because he has MR.
Mm-hmm.
I think any of them are good.
Okay.
As for the rest of the game, it's probably not anti-heal because no one else is really healing except kind of Melio. It's probably Pen or Leandry. Depending on how hard the enemy team commits to this, you can either play for tier 2 or you can move up after you. You've got one more wave after this one to push. The way you can tell is if you quickly check the minimap, you can... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect. so you just know which wave you're playing on.
I think they're committing pretty hard, but
Yeah.
Jinx is gonna be. Should I go for tier 2?
I don't think there's anything other than that for you to do anymore because your team's already dead.
An ally has been slain.
Should I back for?
Yeah. Now that Jinx has turned up, yeah. Maybe I would just grab an Oblivion Orb here, you know, because you can't really afford anything else. Or you could get Blighting Jewel. Yeah, maybe Oblivion, just because the volley's a demon.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Okay, yeah, he is like their entire team at the minute, actually. Ah! The guy was recalling. How do you miss? How do you miss Luxel on a guy that's recalling? That's crazy. Okay, at this point it's winning if you can just clear the waves into Volibear, because, like,
Yeah.
at this point they need Volibear more than your team needs you. So if you can clear waves without dying...
I mean, he's kind of throwing here, so...
Yeah. Very nice. And now you can maybe even base and TP in. Oh no, you got it. Alright, Baron's already gone. You can just push them. Only thing I would have done different for you there is just move your camera up to the Baron to see
Do I
how it was
TP
going.
Here?
Nah, that looks over to me. And
Oh.
also you're quite low on health.
An enemy has been slain.
Moving forward, you will have to, like, make your own judgment as to whether to TP in, because I'm not going to be there to tell you. But I looked at that and I saw it and I went, my team is winning that, I don't need to TP. And that's just from, like, lots of experience playing those situations. The more, like, you might TP and feel like you weren't needed, and that's fine. Then you know for next time, oh, that was actually a winning situation, and you can, like, modify how you play it. This is really good for you now, though. Because now you have...
So, should I go Rylai's or should I finish Arlo's?
I would probably just go Leandry, if anything.
Andrew. Okay.
Yeah. Grab the Haunting Geist, that item's really, really good. And then
The Haunting
I do like Haunting Geist Amp Tome. Yeah, Haunting Geist is really strong.
Okay, got it. Should I TP onto...
Yeah. Just because Dragon is so imminent. Nice. Very nice. Okay, I mean, you absolutely took over this fight, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, you just killed their entire team. Huge. Oh. Okay, no melee ult. Yeah, grab that and the... can you get the Blighting Jewel? You have enough? No, you don't.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah, maybe just get a Blasting Wand then. Since you can get a Blasting Wand. Yeah, I think at this point, when you're in the side lane, as strong as you are now, when you're pushing it out, if somebody, maybe Volibear can stop you, right? But if somebody that's not Volibear tries to stop you pushing this wave, or tries to push the wave, I think they just die.
Unless I miss everything. Oh, is that Bali there?
Yeah, I think it's best if you match Volley, to be honest. I think you're the only one who can. What the what? Why is there a Talon in your base?
Yeah, that's what I saw in that bush up here. I wasn't sure what I saw.
Honestly, if she arrows him, I think you kill it. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Ideally, they leave you to push this out, and they go play mid. This is really nice. Now you're just getting waves upon waves. Yeah, they fall apart. They fall apart without Volibear, actually. If you can ever kill him.
Yeah.
And also, you destroy this Yasuo right now. Like, I think you might be a full item ahead of him, and you're 2 levels ahead. What you can do here is ping your team to the assist me ping on this tower. So they have something to do after this, you know, like they're taking the inhib. Perfect. And now instead of overstaying in the base and dying, which is what happens every single game for no reason, they actually come and join you. And this is like the thing I was talking about with Baron, right? They pushed mid, and now they came and joined the side laner. And now we have something else to do as well. And yeah, you don't have to... You don't necessarily have to fight this. It's just... Yeah, that's fine. Oh. Alright, we got a lot done there. We got an entire inhib and bot lane T2 all off of Volibear dying.
Yeah.
I would go bot here, just to try and keep bot in a reasonable space. You can TP to this Nash, and you're the only one that can keep this bot lane wave, like, not on your Nexus against Volley. I don't think anyone on your team can do anything about it except you. What did he buy after Visage? He just he went Nash's Tooth. Interesting. So yeah, Cho'Gath can handle Yasuo, that's fine. But if you weren't here, this wave would be like all the way on your inhib tower. You can come here and stop it doing that, and then if you need to TP into Baron, you can TP into Baron. So there's 2 things for you to think about here. One is, where is Volibear? Is he going to kill me if I'm taking this wave? Okay, perfect. So you can push without... And then the next thing is, when do I TP? So you can look, if you look top now, there's probably a good TP.
They got it.
Yeah, no, good. Good identifying that they've got it. Stay bot. You destroy this guy. Okay. That's not ideal, but yeah, I respect the attempt. Talon is coming for you, so just bear that in mind. Okay, Melia's here as well. That's fine. They all came for you. Could have held flash. The other thing you could have done from the start is try to play away from the minion wave, because it makes Yasuo's life a lot harder.
Yeah.
But hey, we got Baron, we're getting top tier too. Life's good. So yeah, when you're in the side lane like that, if last time you were way stronger than the person you were side laning against, this time you're trying to side lane against Volibear because Cho got on. If he's stronger than you, you're thinking, can I take this wave without him killing me? And then you're thinking, when am I TPing in? And you're just watching the situation to see whether you need to. You watched it, you saw that you didn't need to, you didn't. That was good. I would not even consider TPing top here. Because
yeah, I know,
Dragon, Dragon is the thing that we're doing. Huge. Good ward. Nice. Nice. I would go bot. Mid inhib's already down, so you don't need to push mid. You want to start cracking their other lanes.
Choke FTP.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
There's literally no reason for Yasuo to push top here. The only thing it does is it makes it one wave later for you to get top inhib, but you're probably going to get it eventually anyway. Like if he tries to keep pushing, you just take his bot inhib and then... Is he there? Yeah, he's there. He's defending. So ideally what you do is take this inhib for free and then go top. Everybody. So I would just start pinging top lane now. So the thing is, Volibear and Jinx are alive again now, and now you're just in their base against 5 people. But, you know, if they don't want to go top, they don't want to go top. Stay with them, and be ready to play this fight. Okay. Oh! That looked really big. It was close. Alright, well, you've murdered them. Okay, nice. I think that fight you did, you know, like around the enemy red buff, at one point where you killed everyone, I think you won the game at that point. That was really nice. Alright. So it looked rough for a while, but
Yeah.
then it didn't.
No, that's a little more representative of what the games are like. But then, you know, it'll end on a loss.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm not particularly worried about the times where you missed spells, because that is just something that 1 happens, and 2 naturally gets better over time, and 3 you're thinking about loads of other things, which is going to make you like the things that you're naturally good at. Your brain is doing other things. Your brain's elsewhere, so it happens. What I would really like you to focus on is the intent of your aggression. So, like, do you remember when Yasuo was level 2 and you were level 4 and you just were not letting him even remotely interact in the lane?
Yeah.
That was really nice to see after the first game. Like, you... when you play against someone that plays like that, like, you can feel the pressure. And yeah, you if you ever gain any form of advantage, you want to push it like that. So that one was very obvious. This is going to be your big thing for laning, right? There's the things about like figuring out where the jungle is and what side of the lane to position on and stuff. Fundamental mid lane things like that. And then obviously your recall timers, trapping people in lanes. But number 1 priority for you, I would say, is maximizing this aggression. So if there's a cooldown window, identify it, punish it. If there's I don't know, you get a level up timer, right? Identify it, punish it. If the wave is in a really rough place for them, which is when it's locked just outside your tower, which is what happened when you hit level 6, you punish that.
Yeah.
It's just like if there's an opening, you never let them squeeze out of that opening. Like, you just slam the door shut. And a lot of that's about where you stand. It's that last hitting backwards. Like, when he was level 2 and you were level 4, you walked all the way past the wave, and you just kept pushing him out, and that was really nice to see. So keep trying to play like that when you get advantages. And a lot of people, I would say below Master, like, I wouldn't even say below Diamond, I'd say below Master. A lot of even Diamond players crumble under that sort of pressure, because they're not used to people, like, being that aggressive. Once you get very good at it, you'll notice that while you're practicing it a lot, you will probably die to a lot of ganks. And that's fine. That's why I've also given you the jungle tracking stuff, because then you know when to dial it back based on what the enemy jungle's doing. I would say focus on just doing it first, and if you die to ganks, go, yeah, the coach said I would die to ganks, I'm playing really aggressive, it's going to happen. Once you get good at it, you can go, right, now I'm really good at this. When am I going to get ganked? Let's have a look at this. Oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. And then, I'll dial it back a bit on this wave because the enemy jungle looks like it's probably going to have a good gank timer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
As for your mid game, do you feel like it's clicking, like the play pattern of how you're pushing the wave deep and then that's giving you time to go and do stuff, but you're not really losing any farm by doing it?
Yeah, it is. That is kind of clicking.
Okay, good. Because that gives you like the opportunity to impact the game more, but your XP and gold still stays very high. And that's what you need that in solo queue, because you need to be a strong individual. Like for example, also one thing that I didn't touch on last game because you were just winning everywhere, but this game, Volibear was very clearly their win condition, right? But you, as a player, if you're winning, which the goal with improving is to get to a point where you are winning situations in your games, and it's like you are in control of the game. If you notice that like one of the side laners is really strong and you think you can stop that guy, go and play around that guy. Like go and shut down their win con. Transfer your lead around the map.
Got it.
Is there anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, so that was kind of my question. So the reason I didn't switch is because there's been cases where I do switch, and let's say I face their win con, but then my teammate will go and feed the guy that I beat, and so then it's just kind of like, yeah.
The main thing to remember in that case, it might happen. If it's like that Cho'Gath and that Volibear, the Cho'Gath is worth about 150 gold, and the Volibear has like an 800 gold shutdown. So if Cho'Gath dies to Yasuo, but you kill Volibear, massively worth. Just because of how the bounty system works, right? That your guy's worth like no gold.
Yeah, but what if I go neutral with Volibear and Cho'Gath just dies to Yasuo?
Ideally, you beat the Volibear, and I think a lot of the time, especially if you play better than them, the players are going to make mistakes. Like the Volibear when he tried to kill you under the tower, right? And you were like, I think this guy's just throwing. And exactly. It happens a lot, right? People get ahead and then they throw. And people below, I don't know. Honestly, in my experience, people below like 200 LP master are very like not very controlled with their lead. They don't hang on to it. They don't play safe once they've got a lead. They sort of keep taking risks. And you can also identify whether you can. For example, I thought you could take that Volibear. I think based on the items you had, the first time I said it, I was wrong. He was way stronger than you. But after you gained another item and you got your Oblivion Orb, from that point on, I think it was true that you could take the Volibear. But if you can identify when you can take him, then you can go and do it. If you can't, then the other thing you can try and do is, let's say you're completely dumpstering Yasuo on the side lane, right? You can push it all the way in, and then instead of rotating into mid, you could base and go top, and then deal with Volibear with Cho'Gath, like as two. And meanwhile, Yasuo is just catching that wave under the bot tower. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
So you don't always have to like match. You can also use your pressure and keep that pressure if you want to. That would be an option too. I just felt like in that game, you could match him. And if you go and match him, you'd get his shutdown. And then they would lose their win con. And you would get really strong. And then you would carry. And I think I was kind of right with that. Like, you did end up getting his shutdown eventually, and then you were really strong, and then you carried, because I think the defining moment in that game was the fight in their bot side jungle around red, where you just popped off and killed absolutely everyone. So yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Anything else?
Well, yeah, and my final question is, so if I want to keep like doing coaching with you, do you have like certain prices for like continued like clients and stuff, or would I just have to do the Fiverr thing over and over again?
No, if you don't want to use Fiverr, we can just discuss it in DMs. Find out what you're looking for and what you're comfortable with. And yeah, Fiverr for me mostly is a way of getting my brand out there. So if people see my Fiverr and I have reviews on Fiverr, it's like more credibility than other than my Fiverr. I just have my YouTube. So some people will come because of my YouTube, and some people will find me on Fiverr, and it just sort of broadens my clientele, I suppose. But yeah, no, if you want to propose something or want me to make you an offer for something, just let me know what you're looking for, and I'll do my best to accommodate it.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
No problem. I hope you enjoyed today.
Thanks. Have a great day.
All right. Good luck in your games, and hopefully, also one last thing. If you really want to limit test your aggressive playing, you can. I know you said you were playing a normal earlier, right? Sometimes it helps to be in an environment where there's no LP on the line, and you just absolutely send it in lane, playing like ultra aggressive, trying to min max every little cooldown window. And if you die in those games trying to do it, you just go limit test, don't care.
Got it. Okay, got it. Thank you.
All right, no problem. Yeah, good luck, and you've got my Discord, so let me know how you're getting on with stuff. Stay in touch.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right, no worries. Thank you very much. Bye bye.